my parents are some of the most conservative people you ever meet in your life. But if you talk to my uncles, my parents' generation, they're all Democrat. And what do? They say, well, we're all Democrats, ergo, y'all have to be Democrats. And here's why. And they carry that from generation to the next generation without recognizing that the generations have changed. The needs of the generations have changed. Society has changed tremendously. You hear me talk about my great great grandfather. My great great grandfather was born on a plantation. My brother, sister, and I all went to West Point. We all, at one point, were in Baghdad at the same time fighting for this country as the great great grandson and great great grandchildren of slavery. So don't tell me that the issues that were back in the 50s and 60s are the same issues now, because they're not. Don't just do it because your mama said so, or because your daddy said so. Things have changed, and here's why. And then now people are looking around there realizing this is not about race anymore. It's not. This is about wealth. This is about the economy. This is about living day to day and putting food on the table.
My thing is that I want to kind of talk about identity politics and how the left use and abuse identity politics to divide people. I saw from the intro. This is something that's very known for from the black community, is that from generation on generation, and this is one my thing is when black America claim about systematic racism, it's not an issue. Systematic racism isn't an issue that's holding black Americans back. Is that systematic habits, right? Your habits are not aligned with the outcomes that you want today. And the systematic racism that I complain about, or that the black Americans complain about, and truly, in my view, is cultural systems that the black community incentivize in their generations, that the things that they pass down to future generations, right? Bad habits such as voting for one party just because they're Democrats, not looking at the issues, not questioning orthodoxies within their cultural communities. Like, racism is holding you back. Is racism, like, I believe as a millennial, as the last millennial, I'm born in 96. I believe my purpose here is to question orthodoxies, question preconceived notions. And I think the black community doesn't do this enough. And I think this is one of the reasons why they still blindly vote. I'm sorry, not blindly, but why they're so loyal to the Democratic Party, even though they claim that we're the party that wants to bring racism to an end. They constantly use racism to justify black people voting for them, because it's a mechanism of fear that they know they can use to emotionally manipulate black Americans to stay loyal to the Democratic Party, especially black women who vote for them 93% at the time of making this video, which is in 2025. So this is Wesley Hunt reacting to this clip of Jasmine Crocker that recently went viral about her attacking Byron Donalds for marrying a white woman. How very stereotypical of a Democrat black woman, right? Some of our skin folks are not kin folks, such as Byron Donalds, talking about life was better under Jim Crow. Is this because you married a white woman? And Wes Hunt here is going to kind of highlight this hypocrisy about Byron Donalds being whitewashed when you can name numerous examples of minority women, so-called minority women, married to, partnered with white people. And this kind of hypocrisy is funny, is that, okay, so you're saying that skin folk and kinfolk, because they're associated with someone of a different race, but on your political side, Democrat, you have a bunch of people who are dating men from a different race, especially white men, and you have nothing to say, right? And this is the kind of hypocrisy that many black men are noticing with black women, is that it's bad when black men interracially date, but it's good when black women interracially date, right? There's always some outrage about some successful black man married to a white woman or married to a non-black woman. But then when Serena Williams marries a billionaire white man, they got nothing to say. Actually, they praise this stuff. And this kind of hypocrisy, this is why I like to focus on cultural issues, because a part of me, I honestly believe this from Andrew Breitbart, that culture is, politics is downstream from culture. And if you have a culture of people who think a certain way, have double standards when it comes to how they perceive an action or an event, then you'll see that discrepancy in their voting. And this is something that epitomized the black community. Some of the most conservative people you know, but they vote Democrat. Why? This is the discrepancy that I'm highlighting at. And I think Wes Hunt does a good job articulating this in this interview. So without further ado, enough with my long-winded kind of introduction into this topic. Let's get into the video.
Our former vice president, and I do mean former vice president, was married to a white man. The latest Supreme Court justice is married to, she's a black woman that's married to a white man. The former White House press secretary is a black woman that has a white partner. Ilhan Omar is with a white man. AOC is with a white man. This hypocrisy is disgusting. People like her are the reason why I am a Republican, because I am sick and tired of the race bait. You fall in love with who you fall in love with. We have come a long way in this country, and the fact that she is continuing this narrative just shows she's just a bitter woman that's trying to continue to divide this country. Byron Donalds and I are.
So one thing I also want to highlight here is that there's stats that show that if you ask all the racial groups, Asians, whites, Hispanics, black, all of them say which group of people are the most likely to be racist. Every one of these groups said black. Even black people said black people. This is why. Who still has a problem with interracial dating in 2025? Most likely it's a black person. Oh, I don't understand why all these brothers, they got some fine sisters out here and none of them married. Why is that? That's not a problem that men can answer. That's an individual level. It just happens that a lot of individual black women are not married. That's not like a black woman problem. Why is that? We don't know. Maybe it's something with black women saying they don't compete for men. I think they're the only group of women that say that. Now, it's popular for women saying that they don't need men and all this stuff. But a lot of women, they say stuff, but their actions don't match what they say. Oh, I don't care about a man's money. I just want a man to have the same level of education as me, career driven like me. What is that? That's passively saying, okay, you want a man with money. These are the kind of double speaks that I think is a problem in our communities. And I'm saying that as an American community, is that we're too consumeristic as a culture. We're too materialistic as a culture. And I think that has become an undertone in our values and how we value people in our society. That monetary status and all this stuff, it matters more than someone's character. And I think this is what also leads to all this dating friction that's going on. And this is why I kind of push back on this idea that conservative, especially the older conservative guys, oh, get married, have kids. And in my head, I always say with the right person, with the right woman who has the same shared values as you, right? And it doesn't help that you see a lot of these videos. Like I saw one recently with Pierce Morgan about a guy calling out, hey, this is some of the problems with why men are gravitating to Andrew Tate, and conservative women are bashing this guy that highlighted this fact. I think his name was Andrew Wilson. I did some reaction videos on him when I used to do cultural stuff with on the Whatever podcast. He highlights the problem like, yo, you guys are messaging in a way where men find no benefit in doing these things. There's nothing in it for men. And she shamed the guy for saying that. Oh, men need something out of women. I don't consider him a real man. And I just facepalm. I'm like, conservative women, y'all can't be saying stuff like this. You want equality? There has to be some type of value that men get from being associated or being a part of marriage. You call marriage a partnership. You call marriage about teamwork. Okay, there needs to be some benefit from the men to be involved in the family. And conservatives are not doing a good job presenting that message. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that I have with the conservative of advice of just blatantly getting married. In my estimation, I believe that you should vet for someone's character and making sure you're aligned on some of the important issues that you think will make or break a relationship. This is why I don't get mad when I hear liberal women saying, oh, I divorced my husband because I found out he secretly voted for Trump. Or you hear these dating shows where a dude gets left at the altar because the woman found out that he voted for Trump or he was against BLM. I don't get mad about that. I say, yeah, that's fine. That's your right to do that. Because end of the day, the person would have been in a miserable marriage if they end up marrying you. Statistically show that if you marry someone who is negative, who unhappy people are the worst people to marry. And statistically, a lot of these unhappy people are liberal women. So she did you a favor, bro. And this is some of the point why I think that, I don't know, as a society, man, identity politics really effed us up. I'm just being honest. Based on gender, your race, politics now, it's effing us up. And if we don't get past this, I don't know how we stand together. Divided we fall, right? United we stand, divided we fall. And identity politics is not helping our unity here.
Are where we are because of our merit and who we are and through hard work and determination. Who we choose to marry, it's our business. Whatever their race, religion, color, or creed is, that's our business. It doesn't make us less black. It doesn't make my wife more white or less black, depending on who she married. And this is the kind of stuff that I'm so glad the American public are seeing. We aren't the party of race. We aren't the party of division. We are the party that wants our country back and wants to reward a meritocracy. And so this is the kind of narrative that they continue to put out. It's based on her logic. And for her, the definition of black excellence is you're only excellent and you're only black if you're a Democrat. Well, that's utterly ridiculous. And we need good people of color, white people, black people, you name it, on both sides of the dais, so we can continue to get better and grow and share each other's heritages.
And this is the funny part. This is why I say that racism doesn't like this race first stuff. It doesn't benefit a nation at all. Because at the end of the day, we all have a vested interest in having America prosper. Because if America doesn't prosper, we all got to find something new, somewhere new to live at. We all have a vested interest in this land. So beyond race, beyond gender, beyond all these things, we want, hey, what's best for America? Because what's best for America trickles down what's best for me. Because if America doesn't do well, there's no opportunity for me to do well. And it seemed like this is the cut your nose to spite your face. And this is what identity politics has created. It created this false sense of division, this false sense of we have different interests. The only thing we can say is that, hey, you respect me, I respect you, bro. I don't need you to worship the ground that I walk on as a black man. Like, I don't care if you don't like me because of my skin color. I don't care if you don't like me because of my political affiliation. Because this is the funny part. Democrats, right? Like, I saw a clip somewhere. A liberal woman found out one of her coworkers was a conservative, and she said, yo, this is a smart guy, whatever. But when I found out he was a conservative, I just hated him. Let's flip that. I found out that my smart coworker was black. I always talk to him on Zoom. I say, oh my God, he sounds like an intelligent guy. I found out he was black, and secretly, I find myself hating him, even though I know he's a smart guy, he's a capable guy, but it's the fact that he's black. I just can't, now I can't stand him anymore. You'll say, that's bad, Kenny. That's a racist coworker, and they should deserve to be fired. Okay, but with conservatives, liberals are freely able to think like this about conservatives. And then you want to talk about Donald Trump is the one bringing division in our country. No, it's the left's reaction to conservatives is what's bringing division in this country. You don't want to associate with someone of an opposing political opinion. Democrat women are the least tolerant people in politics at 38%. Liberal men following right behind them at 19%. Imagine that. Democratic women are twice as intolerant as liberal men. That means a liberal man has the highest probability of being married to a conservative woman than a Democratic woman being married to a conservative man. So who's pushing the division? It's all on the Democrats, but they want to pretend, they want to both sides this, they want to pretend that, oh, we're both in our echo chambers. No. Only you guys are in your echo chambers. And the black community is a perfect kind of microcosm for this outcome. Black Democrats always complain about how, oh, black conservatives, a lot of them are interracially married. Let me break it down to you this way, because I'm in an interracial marriage, right? Let's put it this way. If I say, hey, one of my shared values is my wife has to have the same political opinion as me. What percentage of black women share that opinion? 7%. That means I have a 7% chance. If I said I only will date black women, I only have a 7% chance of meeting a woman that is conservative in the black community. That means if black conservatives did the black only thing, statistically, it will be a very hard thing for a black conservative to do. Now, thank God I'm not racial with my dating preferences. And I'll say, hey, look, best woman who matches my values win. And it happened to be a non-black woman. That's how I operate in the world. I don't, when something bad happens to me, I don't assume it's because of my skin color. I assume because I wasn't good enough. I didn't have the ability. I didn't message better, whatever. I didn't picture myself good. That's reasons why I think I lose opportunities. And it always puts me at the driver's seat because I'll never, and this is my thing that I hate about black liberals that they always try to push on me growing up, is like they keep trying to push that I'm helpless. And I push back and say, I'm not helpless. I could always do something about any situation that I am because it always puts me in the driver's seat. Why would I believe in a political philosophy that weakens me mentally, that weakens my mentality? And I think that's the number one thing stopping the black community, in my honest opinion. But I digress. I don't want to go on a far off tangent. Let's continue with the video.
Is as a country and do it together and not divide us. I hope that Jazz keeps on talking because the more she talks, the lower the ratings go for the Democrat Party. And the more that she talks, the better off it is for us as Republican Party going into the midterms. I pray that she continues to lead this party.
If you take what she's saying to its natural conclusion, what she's saying is that there should be only Asians marrying Asians, white people marrying white people, and black people marrying black people. That's what she's saying.
That's exactly what she is saying. And I'm going to tell you something, Benny. I recognize that there was a time in this country that was very rough. Keep in mind, my parents are 75 years old. My mom's almost 75. Don't tell her that. She's almost 75 years old. She grew up during the civil rights movement. My parents never went to middle school, elementary school, middle school, high school, or college because they went to a historically black college, Southern University in Baton Rouge, for their entire lives. Yet their children spent their lives and spent most of their schooling amongst white people because that's how far we've come in a very shortened period of time. I recognize deals of the past, but look at where we are now.
Right.
The America that we live in today is not the America of the 50s and 60s.
And that's something that I think I'll leave it off at there. I think that's something that Democrats need to update on their messaging about, is that a lot of black Democrats, and I keep pointing out black Democrats because I'm just reflecting on my own personal life about how they always try to message me to hate this country. And I'm going, you want me to judge America where it was, not where it's at. I'm trying to judge America where it's at, right? Just like you want me to judge the Democrats where they at, right? Because I could judge the Democrats based on their past. Oh, Democrats are the party of segregation, the Ku Klux Klan, and slavery. I could judge the Democrats the same way that they judge America. So if I'm supposed to judge Democrats where they're at, oh, that used to be the Democratic Party, but now the Democratic Party changed and they're about this and they're that. So why can't I do the same thing about America? And this always stumps black Democrats in my life anyway. But this is something that I always find it to be an issue. You want me to judge America where it was, not where it's at. But I was born in 1996. And you're telling me, oh, look, this happened in 18 something. I'm like, I don't live in 18 something. It's not 18 something anymore. Interracial dating is at the highest it's ever been in our history. And you're still going back on what happened in the past. This is just a way to justify grievance. And I think that, secretly, and this is my opinion, I secretly think black people secretly use racism as an alibi to justify their bad choices in life, their bad decisions, and their bad outcomes due to their bad habits. And this is secretly the true systematic problem in the black community. It's a cultural one. Look at the cultural values that is passed down from one black generation to another. Oh, the white man's your neck. Oh, you're somehow inferior to white people. Oh, don't study. It's not cool to study. It's cool to be an athlete, rapper, or be some type of entertainer. Go for those. Go to be that. Something that has a low probability of success. You have a higher probability of being an engineer than being an NBA athlete. But what is the cultural values being passed down to the black community? It's cool to be an athlete. So all our kids, this is why disproportionately black people are represented in the NBA and in sports in general. NFL, 51%, NBA, 78% black. This is why, because we have cultural incentives in our own culture that pushes our youth to go towards those things. And in other cultures like white, Jewish, Asian, they push their kids to go the academic route. And this is why a lot of Ivy League schools are majority Asian, because that's the cultural incentive, the cultural system that pushes the generation to go towards a particular path. And it seems like black America don't understand this stuff. And this is why when I make my videos about how your behavior drives outcomes, not your skin color, I get pushback from black Democrats who have no argument. The reason why the black community gets the outcomes that they get is because of the behaviors that they put out as individuals, as part of their collective. You're telling me the black team is the poorest people in America. Okay, let's look at the decisions that the black team does. You major in college degrees that don't have statistically or on average doesn't have higher incomes. You're less likely to invest your money. You're more likely to be in debt. That don't sound like a recipe of passing on generational wealth. But you want to blame something else. You don't want to acknowledge that it could be just a fault of individual blacks acting as individuals, as part of a collective, making bad decisions statistically. Because end of the day, and I'll leave it off there, statistics doesn't prove racism. All statistics does is prove a result. Whatever you tie that result to is an argument you have to make. My argument is when I see disproportional outcomes, I tie it to disproportional behavior, disproportional decisions. Black people make a disproportional decision that created this disproportional outcome. A lot of black liberals see it as racism. I don't see it that way. I see it as, oh, this is the behaviors that the black people do as a collective that's creating this result. Because statistics doesn't prove a narrative. Statistics only prove a result. But I ended off at there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts and your perspectives. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.